Yeah, we're just chilling with Tiggy. Microphone went on.
What's going on with it?
Yeah, just chilling, man. No, I appreciate you coming through, man.
Appreciate you with the Bruins hat on.
Yeah.
He's got the Bruins lid on. Yeah, we've... Go ahead, bro.
Yes, sir. But,
say what you need to say.
So, yeah, now we're just chilling with Tiggy here on this podcast yet to be named. We'll see what happens.
In the world of podcasts. Mgibz in the world of podcasts, baby, you know. Man, there's some damn good podcasts out between Boston and Charleston. Shout out. I just like a quick few shout outs, sorry.
Yeah, bro.
Say That Podcast. Shout out In the Bean. AOA Studios. Turntable Teachers. The one and only Mike Scarfo. Shout out Mike. Shout out Repeat. And from Say That. Shout out Mgibz for having me on here, man. Shout out Timpazon Podcast, Amir Max. I love the world of podcasts. It's really good to be here.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. No, I appreciate you coming through. And
shout out Pursuit of Sound, DJ Double Crown Podcast, Charleston, South Carolina, as well.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, so Tig, you're from. I mean, we're both from Boston.
Yes, indeed.
So it's kind of pretty rad to have like a Boston homie down here.
Bro, likewise. Meeting you here has been great. It's been special. So we've been getting after it, man.
Yeah. So before you came down to Charleston though, like were you doing shows up in Boston? Like when did you kind of start getting into rapping up north and then like and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say like, you know, I played in a band between the ages of about, I mean, in my consistent band from about 16 to 20, played from like 14 to 16 in some other like projects, you know, learning how to play in a band and play guitar and sing and play music. And then, you know, from there, I really started rapping a lot more when I was like 19, 20, 21. And then by the time I was like 22, I had this other job. I was in food and bev for a while. I didn't really like explore music as much for a while, like performance and, you know, pursuing it in any kind of way and showing it with the world, you know what I mean? But I chose to really just, you know, focus on trying to learn kind of, because I knew I had always liked MCing and hip hop and rap and, you know, early on, like Ludacris, DMX, you know, we're talking like 4th and 5th grade, Tiggy into 6th grade, Tiggy, you know, that where the nickname really came from.
Yeah.
Shout out, you know, my homies in elementary, they really came up with that, and yeah. And
so were you like freestyling like with your boys, or like how did you even start rapping?
Yeah, so like one thing I just wanted to say though too was like, that time period was where I learned first, like got to know rap, 50 Cent, you know, Juvenile, shit like that. Southern hip hop is emerging as well around that time, and like I said, Luda, Juvenile, you know, Outkast, but like, you know, those were big influences for me, and they still are to this day. But I started to kind of put some stuff on my old SoundCloud. It's still out there somewhere. I'll have to.
Yeah, dude.
We'll see if the link's available for everybody. It might not. No.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, man. It's been a journey. So like, there was a couple people that I was like, you know, friends with in town that I like that made beats, or that we just did a couple like unique tracks. I would produce on GarageBand 09 on my computer, and also like make tracks. Made a couple instrumentals that weren't meant for vocals. Other ones I like spit on that like I just created that weren't like, I showed that I could do that. I just like, they were silly and they were fun, but they were like, you know what I mean? They were too modern, like they were, no, they were, they were dope, but they were just 20-year-old Tiggy.
Yeah.
Straight up. And so we're talking like, you know, 2011 type shit, 2010 type shit, you know.
And were you doing shows
at
that time?
No, even earlier than that, like 09. Yeah, I mean, I was like making other music then too still and playing guitar, but I also like, there was like, I just would sit in my room and like listen to shit and do other shit, but
yeah.
Sorry, we're getting away from your question, and I know you had a question for me. Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good, man.
Asking.
I was just curious to know too, like, were you, at what point did you like, all right, from when you started creating beats with people, creating records with people, how long after that did you start doing shows?
Yeah. I mean, So in the hip hop space,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing shows since I was like 14,
Yeah.
performing.
Yeah.
But in terms of like in the hip hop space, it wasn't then. It wasn't. That's what I was getting at. Sorry, is that that time period? Like I wasn't performing in the hip hop space, and by the time I really was making more hip hop, like in my room, I had this little small Hercules DJ turntable. It was like $200 from Guitar Center. Would use that too. I was obsessed with Pete Rock and Dilla and everybody, and like, so that was the phase where like I didn't really perform. Like I said, I was just trying to learn more. Like I was like a student of the game phase, but it was like in the cut on like my old MacBook. Like we're talking the OS X days, buddy.
Yeah.
Like the all white thicky.
Yeah.
Before Airs and things got. I mean, computers that are built in like
Bro,
2013 are even 20 times better in advance than an 09 laptop.
But back in the day, bro, remember
So.
having a MacBook was like a freaking. You were the man if you had a MacBook.
Dude, once we got Dell out of the house, bro, and my sister and I were like, yo!
Yeah.
So we were just like, that's great. Not that, no disrespect to Dell, and especially nowadays, it was just like that thing was a clunker of a laptop, buddy. There was no room for that in the kitchen.
Yo, did you ever go to the Mac store and take like pics with the
You had to. There was an era.
You remember that back in the day, bro?
And shout out to an era of learning about photo booth, seeing how selfies were developing in the stages of life, and just doing what you had to do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, straight up.
Dude, we would go to the mall like on like.
Bro,
on
you're
a Friday,
30, bro. You're cultured as fuck. I just want to tell you that right now.
But dude, whatever. Getting off topic, but you know the deal. Go to the mall with your friends. Go to the MacBook store, Apple store, and just
freaking. I swear to God, like that was, that's like an underrated like mall spot or just like a ripper that like you can just hit up. That's not like, you know what I mean? You don't want to get caught up in like Zoomies and just shit like that, like or like the food court. Yeah. Well, PacSun's one thing. I mean, don't ever say that again. But
dude, PacSun's great.
Shout out to PacSun. It is fantastic.
Is that even? Is that a store?
If you get caught up, it might be a while. So shout out that anyways, or Lids.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, you know what I mean. We're talking about Apple here. Like it's an important place to horse around in an earlier day. Not now.
No, not now.
Not now. Not now.
Definitely not. Don't drag your ass out of that bitch.
Once the Oakwood phases took over and just Genius Bars became
you gotta get these kids. We got some kids over here. You're gonna have to get them on. I don't even know if they got. Actually, I still got Photo Booth on my Mac.
Jeez, actually, shout out Photo Booth. But in terms of like. Making beats on that computer, it was great. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out Mgibz for having me, man. This is dope to be back in the 843 Loft.
Yes, sir.
East side to the east side, because that's where we've been. So, and straight up and down, literally north and south.
So okay, so. You kind of started off, you did some shows when you were younger.
Yep.
You got into hip-hop, you got into garage band.
On the scene performing, I should answer, is probably about 2.5 years.
Yep.
At this point. And myself, I've curated at this point about 9 to 10 shows, I want to say.
Okay.
In the community of Charleston only.
Yeah.
And so far, and the first one was a year ago this month at the beginning of August 23.
Yep.
For my debut album, and I performed the whole thing besides one song. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Lame. And so that's pretty much what I've been on.
Yeah. So your live shit has been fairly new. Like your live hip hop type shit.
I probably
like that's new. Like you weren't doing that.
Yeah.
Before you came down to Charleston.
Yeah, I haven't done 100 shows, but I've done definitely maybe between like 40 and 100, 50 and 100.
Hell
I would think.
Man.
At this point.
Ever since you've been down.
If I can count 10 that I've done. Well, no, total.
Oh, total.
Between two cities. I've performed in the Bean probably, I mean, not including obviously my my youth
Yeah.
or my early teenage years, like just a good bit, but yeah, in Boston probably hip hop like only like 10 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it really seems like
Or less. Yeah.
since you've been down here in Charleston, you've really been
6.
kind of getting at it.
Yeah. That's where really my musical journey was developing more individually. I think is the best way I could put it.
Huh.
Yeah.
I did not know that, man.
Used to being in a group, which helps me collaborate, and I still feel like I am.
Yeah.
When I'm around those types of people that I really want to connect with, and I know that there'll be more, and I'm eager for more. I think there's other people that have said they want to do something, so I'm with it.
Yeah.
100%.
So with the Boston and so it's interesting too because you had
I do my best.
There's a little bit of contrast too. It's like, I mean, this is a loaded question. Probably might be weird to answer, but like, are there like any differences between like the scene up in Boston and the scene down in Charleston?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's here is just a lot like busier in an intimate community. The Boston area. Shout out Lynn, Mass. I mean, we've got a really strong community right near where Mgibz grew up. Honestly, North Shore, Massachusetts. Lynn, Lowell, Lawrence, places like that. The South Shore, Quincy, Dorchester. I mean, like, there's way more artists. Like, even near where I grew up, probably that live out there. Like, Brighton, Newton, Needham. Like, there's been people I've known people that have grown out of, what is primarily my hometown, Needham. I've seen people grow out of there a couple too. So like just doing random shit or like
it's interesting that you kind of
different kind of communities in music too, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you're kind of not like, I guess you've developed more since you've been in Charleston, it seems like.
Yeah, reinventing the wheel.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel the same way, bro, because...
Never lost it. I just had to gain more and be more consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
I feel the same way, man.
Yeah?
Because when I was back up in Boston, I wasn't really tapping in hard with... I was working with artists here and there.
The weather's not as nice consistently out of the year, too. Like, there's reasons, I feel like. Why, like, maybe, like, a place like Boston... and the livability of how it is and just what it is in the seasons and how they change and how things might hit differently. Not necessarily, but then you have a college for music there that's one of the most renowned platforms to be on in, North American music, which is being a student or a part or taking a class or being in a summer camp, which I had done at one point at Berklee College of Music. Mm-hmm. Berklee College of Music, right near Northeastern. I mean, it's a very busy. It's a dope. It's a walkable, fun for people like you and I that we didn't go to those places, but we know that area, and it's a place to go to really enjoy and walk and smoke some reefer, hang out. You'll smell it up in the windows. Like right down the street from Fenway, you got Newberry Street nearby. Get back on the Mass Pike and get places. It's a really unique area, and I think going over there and kind of, it's not even the cleanest area, right, or and shit like that. But it's not even what it's about. Like it's a, you get your burritos. You have classes around the area. You got a lot of college driven stuff. So it's interesting how those things those people need somewhere to play too. Those people there's so many things that go on. Like again, when people say education in Massachusetts, that could be a big part of it. Yeah. We have the epitome for, I mean, the I don't know if those are right. Sorry. We have the pinnacle of athletic professionalism when it comes to music school in Boston too. So, but it's not the only thing or even always the first thing that people might mention, but it doesn't mean that it's not important and it doesn't mean it's overlooked either.
Yeah. It's interesting that you kind of bring up Boston and music and Berklee and the vibe, because I feel that down here. Like obviously, I don't know. There's something down here that I feel that's something.
It's definitely way more of a connection to the people around you, And sometimes they won't even say it, but they'll acknowledge you. And it's just like it's a special thing. You know, it's a nice thing to have when somebody recognizes what you're doing and how you can deliver those messages and how it's reciprocated and how it could be interpreted for someone in their own way, or
Yeah.
you know how a melody sounds to someone. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that go into what you do that really makes things more special and improves your impression on someone else. But you also don't have to necessarily do much more besides be you. And if you're doing that, then that's usually good enough.
Yeah.
And if it's not, or you don't think it is, then keep soul searching. But also just know that, I mean, it's not true because someone's going to think differently than you or than someone else. So it's worth a shot no matter what.
Yeah, no, staying true
You
to
know?
yourself, especially in music, is definitely
Putting it out there.
super important thing,
Yeah.
man. And I've definitely
Sure.
gotten lost in the sauce sometimes of like
Yeah.
thinking I gotta do
No,
a certain genre or like I gotta do this to appease this. But whenever I did shit like that, man, like it just didn't fucking work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like, I mean, you don't want to like let things fly. Like one thing I've learned is you don't want to like let things just like fly off the handle and get like too loose sometimes. But you have to like know your intentions, and you don't always know until you're getting to later stages of like finishing a song or getting something out, or. But you really want to make sure that you're at least focused on like, is this something that I really want to show people? And as long as you feel that way, or like, it's clicked enough before you've even had that conversation with yourself, then that's an important thing to recognize too. And like, you'll know usually.
Yeah.
I just go with your gut, but if you didn't know, you probably wouldn't even start trying to be in the creative process at that level. And if what you need is help with certain details of like how you're performing it to record it, then that's a different thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's just different.
Yeah.
You can get that guidance just about anywhere as long as someone's not a fucking prick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's it, dude.
Hell yeah.
You know
man.
what I mean?
Yeah. No,
That's
I
all
feel
I got.
you. I feel you. What's Tiggy? What's like when you? What's your recording process like when you?
Oh man.
How do you even go about making a record these days? You know, I know you like we've made a record like. Yeah. I know you've also done work in studios, like you get beats from places, you make records with those.
Yeah, man.
What is it? Like what's your process like when you make a record?
Usually like more so lately actually I just like I have these thoughts and they just end up getting put together, or I start something and see where it goes from there. Really just soulfully creative. That's been like recently.
Yeah.
But it's phases and stages of Tiggy and what we want to bring and what I want to pursue and what I want to show, and sometimes it's what the moment is sometimes, and a lot of it really is like Tyree. Shout out to Tyree because I feel like he said that like exactly that way, and I really took it in to like think about what he had said. You know, an artist like Tyree Young is a very versatile artist, and like he has said like, you know, those things like you want to be in a headspace where like, I mean, you don't have to be, but usually it's better this way, I think, and it just ends up happening that way because you're just, hey, woke up today. If today is the day to create, then we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Some people do it every single day. That's fine. Some don't. Some do. Doesn't matter. The point is, you have to be willing. You have to be willing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I almost just lost my point for a second.
Yeah, that's all good, bro.
We were talking about
just like making records, and you kind of have to be open to it.
Yeah, no, for sure. But what was
sometimes people create every day. Sometimes people don't, and that's cool.
Oh yeah, with what you're speaking is really how things may have been sounding for you in the moment or in your life. The people don't think about that individualism for somebody when they take in their music always, I don't think. Other times they really do.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't take like rocket science to do it. Sometimes there's more depth shown to do it. and you got to dig deeper.
Yeah.
You gotta dig deep. Do it for them.
Hell yeah, man.
But it's like, that's really what it is. Like Tyree said, these are really thoughts that are coming out in the moment or in the
So it's kind of just like
period.
off the cuff. Like you could wake up one day and.
Sorry, I was like.
No, you're good, man. And you could have kind of like a beat or something you've been like, oh, I eventually want to do something with that. And then one day you wake up and you listen to that beat and you're like, oh shit, this is it. And then you just start writing, and next thing you know, you have basically what you need over it. And then from there, you get in the studio and hammer it out.
Other times, I just have something really already. Yeah, I mean, most of my shit's ready to go when I go to the stew.
Yeah.
Depends. I recreate in studios with homies too. Like, I've done that. Oh Jesus! And I've done, shit like at Bank Block Studios in Lynn. Shout out Bank Block Studios as well. They're dope. I mean, they have a lot of different artists in there, and they've really built out a nice studio in there and a booth, and it really is like just something special.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
it's always dope when you can have a place that you feel comfortable and you feel confident that you're gonna be able to go there.
I mean, my debut EP was from the Juice Box at the time it was in Chelsea, then it was in Everett. Shout out Jeff Porter and David Ryan. I've really gotten a lot of my recording started from the jump with them, and having that inspiration in the studio, which is great. We still get to have those sessions, whether we're doing stuff individually or together now.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. It's something that, I value a lot. So, I was really excited to be there last month. Did a song there in Lynn, Massachusetts.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Most all of Tiggy music that people have heard have been recorded in West Ashley, actually.
Yeah.
Shout out 100 Watt Studios, man. Those guys are just two of my good friends at this point, and just awesome artists in a band, two-piece band in themselves, as well as great engineers, and they run a studio. So being with them and growing my sound and the way I can perform myself in the studio and do vocals has been just really special for me there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what has really ignited the microphone Maron and Tiggy into putting out music into the earth under his name for the first time. And again, that's not, we're not in that stage now, but that's been growing since then. I've, put out a good amount of music in 2.5 years. There's more coming. There's more in the vault, as they say.
Nice, man.
So
there's one thing I wanted to circle back to.
Yeah.
You were kind of in that. I just want to make sure is completely getting highlighted, which I think is fucking rad. You've been doing your shows at Sweatmans. I know you've been doing your Foxy G soapbox. Tell us the shows you've been curating. And just tell us a little bit about those.
For sure.
Yeah.
I have now done what we call Sessions in the Garden, live at Sweatmans Garden. There's been a lot of hip-hop entertainment as well as singer-songwriter, guitars, percussion is something that we want to do more of. There's, a lot of talent, wanting to bring more, like poets, a little bit of comedy if we can, I think having a strong sense of community at a place like Sweatmans Garden is great. They've been great. Sessions in the Garden is about to have in September, on September 13th. It is going to be our 8th volume of Sweatmans in the Garden. Ooh. Sorry, I had to think for a second.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And man. And so we're really excited about it. Shout out to my homie Keon, man. He's been somebody that's really helped me get this thing off the ground as well. And he's been a part of it with me since the jump. Dustin McFalls as well included. And has been playing in Sweatmans as well for a while. And he is somebody that I think is great. He's got loads of material. Keon's got loads of material. Those are two people that I've really gotten to know well. And it's just been a special thing, man. Shout out Sweatmans. Sweatmans Garden once a month, either on a Friday or Saturday. You can usually catch us there. And we've been doing it. We want to do more. And we have a DJ that runs for an hour to open up the night and try to set the vibe. So
nice, man.
We'd love you to come by.
Yeah.
Come by, check it out. We got to get Mgibz out to one too. So he's got to come out.
I know.
We got to do that.
I got to take off work.
Buddy, we'll scoop you up. We'll get you.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah.
It's
man.
honestly, appreciate you, man, and it's been something that has been really special since the beginning of 2024. We've really started that. So
yeah.
Trying to make sure I'm covering all the bases in my head.
Yeah.
Again, Sweatmans has been fantastic to us, and you guys really need to tap in with them because they have just fantastic. They're a homemade sodery. There's not many, if any, in this country that do what they do with their craft cocktails that they can, implement alcohol or non-alcoholic. And, dude, homemade sodas, basil nectarine sodas. I mean, banana
insane,
sodas.
bro.
Like, dude, they have apps. You know what I mean? They have different boards and plates. They've got Weems ramen in there now. So they've got, they do some other items as well. But there's specialty cocktails, THC infused cocktails, Delta 9, all that stuff. So it's there's all kinds of good stuff there. It's great to lounge. It's great to turn up. It's great to do both. And so that's what we're trying to do.
Hell yeah, man. No, thanks for sharing.
Appreciate you, man.
Sharing.
For real.
So
I had to get the last plugins in, man. That's one thing about the microphone I don't is we don't try to slip up and forget shit. When we have a lot in our mind, listening to questions, you know what I mean? This is the first episode of this goddamn show that has not been named yet.
The 843 Loft cast.
I would say so. I mean, that's what the Loft files were for Tiggy Time Machine. Yeah. So I mean, speaking of Tiggy Time Machine, Mgibz. I mean, how long? Let me just take control of this thing for 1 second.
Yeah.
And just say, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what was it like for you making the beat for Tiggy Time Machine, and then the process of you coming to me and us talking and collaborating? I had a great time with it. I mean, I've honestly only performed it for the first time this past weekend when I debuted it at Tin Roof for my debut at Tin Roof.
Yeah.
Shout out Double Debuts. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Family last name, get after it, yada, yada, yada. However, I'm excited that we're getting it more out into the earth. It's been out since May 31st.
Yeah. Yeah.
Memorial Day weekend-ish. Yeah. So tell me what that was like.
Bro, it was pretty insane, man. Because I made that beat and I kind of just sat on it for a little bit.
I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah. And I remember... Like, you know how it is, bro. It's like, if you're making beats all the time, it's like you're just stacking up, and it takes some time for maybe those beats to become records, you know?
100%.
But, basically, I forgot about it until you came through to the crib.
Bro.
And you were like, yo, dude, what was that beat you put on Instagram or whatever? And pulled the beat up.
To get that up, yeah.
And basically, Tiggy had something for it.
Yeah.
So, that experience for me was... just really cool because that was the first time we met, bro. That was we met.
Well, no, but the first time we collaborated.
The first time we collabed, the first time we chilled.
Yeah.
And just even shot the shit, whatever.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And a record came out of it, so I was beyond excited. So
we recorded most of it and then did a good amount of polishing and then content for it and rolled it out as a single that was, a good process. And that's what you had lined up for us, and you were like, we should do this. So shout out to this guy, man, first and foremost.
Of course,
this is the 843 Loft Files. You're talking to the microphone I own here live on Mgibz's new podcast. So we're here.
Yeah, we're just chilling.
Again, count it. One episode, first one. Here we are.
Yes, sir. So Tiggy, so basically that whole experience for me was sick, and
843 Loft Files.
But Tiggy, we're kind of like, getting towards the back end. We want to keep this one on the shorter end. Before I get into the segment I want to get into, was there anything else you wanted to just mention, chat about? Anything you wanted to ask me? Anything you want to talk about, pertaining to your music, pertaining to your life, pertaining to anything, bro?
Well, like we said, once a month, come out to Sweatmans Garden, check it out. It's a free show, free show, I should say. However, you're going to want to check out the craft cocktails. You're going to want to check out everything that they have to offer. So.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man.
And not to mention, my Instagram handle has been recently changed.
Oh, yeah. I did see that.
Tiggy Music Official 7. Follow me on that.
Hell yeah.
That's where you can stay updated on Tiggy stuff.
Hell yeah.
Tiggy talking to you.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes.
When I say Tiggy, I'll say talk. Tiggy talk is an important thing for me as the microphone my own, which is basically the slang of me being a hip-hop artist who likes to clutch a mic from Boston, Massachusetts, aka the Northeast. My family is from Ellis Island and immigrated from Italy, and my parents grew up in America, and there's not many people with my last name in my immediate family or just my surrounding family that is still with us, and I'm trying to kind of keep that last name alive. And I think I've realized over time that Tiggy is just like an important way for me to be what I am and who I am and represent what I represent, and I've got to show my roots. And so, that's something that's important to me, and it reflects in a good amount of my music. Not all my music, but there'll be hints. There'll be things in there that if you've listened to some of my story or some of my lyrics, you might find that. There's also a lot of wordplay and lyrical, miracle, spiritual in between that. So, I can't stress enough that is when I say Tiggy and y'all say talk, that's you're helping me to take on and keep the family last name alive and into a passionate setting that I can continue to move forward in with ambition and growth. So that's kind of why I speak it.
Dude, that's amazing. I didn't even...
Appreciate
I just learned something new about you,
I've been
bro.
learning some new things about me too, bro. It's funny you should say that. It's really funny what happens when you get away from home, bro, sometimes.
Yeah, dude,
it's no disrespect to any place. It's just about a journey in life and where you're... No one's better than anyone, dude. I can't stress it enough.
Dude,
in the world.
100%.
It's just like experiences and periods of your life and periods of time, like in where you are and what you've done just adds up to who you are as a person. And as generic as it might sound, and there's a lot of people that I think haven't created certain things for themselves yet, and that's fine. I haven't in a lot of ways too. There's plenty of things in life, right? But it's like, it's important to, excuse me, it's important to like really think about, what you've taken in and how it can build you rather than just like blowing by all these things in your mind or in your life or your experiences. Just, I think sometimes it's important to face problems or adversity in your life, and it can help you to learn and grow, but people wouldn't always take it like that or realize it like that or set themselves up for understanding it like that. But it doesn't mean that it's ever too late to like think about, what you're feeling within and how it shaped you or what it could do for you, or taking risks that you may not have taken in your life. And sometimes we're reluctant to do that in a lot of topics in our lives. Other times it's easy to just jump. And I think it's pretty natural to just jump nowadays, because what have you got to lose?
Yeah. Dude, 100%, man. 100%.
So,
couldn't agree more. Dude, fuck yeah. So I kind of want to... That's a great kind of entry point to where I want to close it off with you, Tiggy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a little segment where we have some type of rapping or some type of freestyle or something. I know you were digging one of my beats, Smooth Sailing, lately.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if you wanted to throw down just something on it, bro.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, something. No pressure.
I would love to, man. I would love to.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck yeah,
Smooth
man.
Sailing.
I'll get it. I'll get
by Mgibz.
I'll get
Shout
it set
out
up
Mgibz on the ones and twos.
Yes, sir.
Gibbsy, I'll just tell you right now.
Yeah.
Is a hell of a producer. Drummer, string instrumentation master, keys.
Appreciate
you. Name
you.
It. So this dude right here, that will not go unnoticed, and this dude is a machine. So
whoa.
Yeah.
Shit, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you're just. He does it, man. He does it. I think the amount of support that like you give your music and like to how you can craft it with others is like a really great thing. I think this guy has a lot of character when it comes to collaboration. It's really not a hard thing for him.
I appreciate you.
It's just a very natural thing. So, like I said, he be cutting up and making some shit. Some of you guys too, like, there's a lot of different types of producers. Remember, this dude is making a lot of shit from scratch. So, in here, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I won't say too much, but
yeah, no, I appreciate you, Tiggy.
Just to let the people know at home, man. It's not going unnoticed. So.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
No, it's been a pleasure just chilling with you and
Likewise,
getting to know
fellow
you.
guitarists, I should say too. One thing I didn't really plug in is guitar and vocals, man. Like, just to be clear, like that's my music by trade.
Yeah.
So meeting this guy, being a hometown homie, like too, it's like we get that connection, the musical connection. It's great. So yeah.
Hell yeah,
you.
man.
For real.
Hell yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Let's get into it. We
Yes,
can do a little
indeed.
test just to make sure.
Yeah. Tiggy. Mgibz. Yeah. Check. Hey. Yeah. Bounce back like this. Yo. Have you ever been so pissed off? Like all those dreams don't matter and you feel so lost. So lost like an unmarked car. Like all that hard work you put in didn't really pay off. Oh beloved angel, can you hear me cry out? I love this shit to the core, but life goes on. I can't be worried about numbers and frauds. I gotta keep my mind on the prize like Samuel Cross. Lights bright in New York. I can't just stop now, a couple 100,000 is the cost. I don't need no Porsche. Yeah, or any damn things with the power of a horse. You see, I just want more. Genuine connection and belief in hip-hop galore. Smiles at the corner store, North End for sure. Boston by the shore. Reach out and touch the seaport. My lord, life is too short. Yeah, life is too short when you're living on your own, but you hold down the fort. Gotta make it count for three like Porzingis in the fourth quarter. It's a damn shame these motherfuckers can't make my pizza to order as I'm bumping Midnight Marauder. Tribe in the building, ayo, some of y'all are boring, ayo, some of y'all are boring, like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Yes, sir. Dude.
Appreciate you, dog.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you coming on,
Hey.
bro.
Appreciate you for having me.
Sir.
On time with it, Gibbsy. Tiggy. You know what time it is.